transition to more sustainable food systems is accelerating, but real impact depends on how we use our resources more intelligently, reducing waste while creating new value. Welcome to the Impress podcast series, where we explore how research, technology and innovation come together to transform underutilized resources into sustainable food solutions. I am Dimitra Fourkalidou from Reframe Food, and today with me is Revilija Mozuraityte from SINTEF. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
To start, could you briefly introduce yourself and let us know what your role is at SINTEF and how your work connects to the Impress project?
Yes, so my name is Revilija Mozuraityte. I am from SINTEF Ocean, from Research Institute in Norway. Actually, I'm senior research scientist at SINTEF Ocean. I'm working at this fisheries and new marine resource industry department, the circular bioeconomy group. So actually in our group we work with development of technological solutions for 100 utilization of cultivated, harvested marine resources. So actually in this project we are involved mostly in work package 3, and in work package 3 we try to develop conventional and also vegan seafood products by using low-trophic species.
So, Revilija, you have recently conducted research that highlights that while 200,000 tons of Baltic Sprat are caught annually, most are currently diverted to fish feed. So I would like to ask you, what do you see as the primary barrier to the fish processing industry adapting this low-trophic species for human consumption on a larger scale?
Yes, so yeah, I was myself surprised because this Baltic Sprat is very nutritional rich fish. It contains those proteins with essential amino acids. Also, they are rich in long-chain omega-3 fat acids. But yes, as you said, mainly it is used for feed. And actually, we see that, okay, there are several barriers. First of all, it is Baltic Sprat, it is small fish, so you cannot fill it. You have to use as the whole for the food application. And and therefore it limits a little bit, what kind of products you can formulate from the whole fish. And also we saw that, okay, the Baltic Sprat contains this intensive and also unfamiliar taste for the consumers. And also when you make a mince from the Baltic Sprat, we see that this mince has a little bit dark brown color, which again is unfamiliar for consumers. And we saw from impressive consumer survey that actually consumers, they are relatively conservative when they purchase fish products. So actually they are used to this high low-trophic species like, cod and salmon. And we see that, okay, this unfamiliar taste of sprat, unfamiliar color, it makes limitation, for consumers to accept this. But we still believe, because it's really very nutritional rich fish, that we can learn the consumers that with this new taste and new color to accept and actually get very good high-value food products.
In the development of vegan fish-like nuggets, SINTEF chose textured faba proteins over other plant-based options. What specific qualities made faba protein superior for mimicking a fish-like experience compared to traditional pea or soy-based proteins?
Yeah, actually for us it was very exciting, this task, to make vegan but fish-like food products. So we started, we tested actually both those faba and also bean proteins. And what we observed that actually these faba proteins, they have less taste. They are like more neutral taste. And when we added those ingredients from low-trophic species like algae oil or seaweeds, we saw that actually it's easier to come out this fish taste, when you use this neutral protein base. So this was good actually, and also what we observed that when we made this fava-based, mixture, it looks that it was easier to get this fiber texture, and this fiber texture, it's very important, to get this texture and mouth feeling, similar to fish. So therefore we chose that, okay, fava protein, it's very good, to start to get this, mixture, because it helps easier to add those other ingredients that helps to get fish taste and texture.
Okay. I don't know about everyone else, but I would really like to try this.
Yeah, actually, it's really very nice products, and also we added this algae oil. Algae oil, again, it's marine plant ingredient, but it's rich on all those long-chain omega-3 fat acids. And I was also myself surprised when you add this algae oil that people, they start to feel that, yes, it's fish, it's fish becomes fish, So it was really very exciting, actually, task of, in this impressive project to get this fish taste from marine plant ingredients.
Yeah. Your study identified that marine plant-based ingredients were essential for achieving a convincing fish-like taste, as we said before, in vegan products. So, from a food engineering perspective, how does your process ensure a consistent flavor profile throughout the cooking process?
Yeah, as I said, we started, we made this base with this fava proteins. We like the texture, neutral taste. So then actually we started with the algae oil, and we saw that, it helps to get this marine tones, Then we added seaweed ingredients, and then again we observed that, that it gets this ocean, this sea taste. And then also we added miso, and miso is like kind of fermented seaweed ingredient, and then it looks like miso, it intensifies, So in the end, people, some of them, they said, oh, maybe it's Baltic Sprat, even in those vegan fish-like products, So it's, so it looks that you need several ingredients. They are marine, definitely, but marine plant-based, and they help to get this fish seafood taste.
One question that came to my mind while you were speaking is, in what way are people trying this? Is it like focus groups for research? Is it another way?
Yeah, actually also it was very exciting, this task, because you understand that Norway is very like fish country. They like to eat fish. So yeah, I have to be honest, people said, it's not fish, they understand, it's not fish, but they say it's good taste and it's like seafood taste, They said, you cannot say that, it's fish, but they were positive, They said that, I could eat them. And also in our sensory panel, we did not have vegans, and but as I said, people, they were quite positive, when we added those, algae oil, seaweeds, because Norwegians definitely, they are also positive to use those low-trophic species ingredients like seaweeds, algae oil in the food. And it looks that, it helps to get this nice taste.
Thank you so much for your reply, Revilija. So I would like to ask you one last question. The IMPRESS project is all about proving that a zero-waste circular bioeconomy is possible for our waters. Looking ahead to the end of the project and beyond that, what is the one major change that you hope to see in the European food industry as a result of the innovations that we have discussed today?
Yes, actually, in our group, in our department, actually, we worked a lot because, our mission, is that, those underutilized marine species that today we look as a low value or as a feed ingredient, that they would be treated, as a high value ingredient and they would be used directly for food application. And this actually would enable to make this, more circular seafood systems, and actually it's very important for food security because we need more food, for this growing population. So we have to use this really high value material directly for food application.
Revilija, it was great talking to you today. Thank you so much for being part of the IMPRESS project.
Yeah, thank you actually also from my side, because definitely for SINTEF it was really, big honor to be a part of this project. And as I said, we were involved in very exciting tasks. So it was very nice also to cooperate with other partners in the project. So I hope that we will make, our seafood system more circular and zero waste.
Yes, let's hope for the best. For those watching or listening, this episode is part of the IMPRESS podcast series. If you want to learn more about the Impress project, you can follow us on social media or visit our website. Thank you for joining us today.